Well, hi everyone. Welcome to Vermont Sun and Shade. I am bringing you with me today on creating a bonsai from this beautiful purple prince plant. And the reason I decided to do it is because it grows very, very tall, very, very fast. And I noted that I had started a little bit cutting it back a little bit with the idea I'd like to create a bonsai from this. So I'm going to read a little bit to you about how to bonsai, and I'm not an expert at all, but I want to point something out to you in AI, and because I got three different um, instructions, and this is super important. So I'm going to go to the Bonsai Empire next, that site, and we're going to take our instructions from them. This is why I say let's support our bloggers. Let's make sure that we're checking in with their expertise, because what AI does is it assimilates a bunch of information out there. So if somebody says something that might be specific, like I was putting in the question, exactly, where do I cut on the stem? Like, what's the best place to cut on the stem? So we're going to look into this farther, and we're going to do this together. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for being here today, and jump on board, subscribe, like, comment. We love people to share their perspectives, and of course in a civil manner, and we've never had a real issue here on that, so I'm so grateful that you are here. We do little clips here from visiting. As the weather gets warmer, I will visit more towns with you, like I did this past summer and fall. We'll get back to that. But, and go to different little events in Vermont and things like that. Uh, and so we share different aspects of Vermont's culture, its food, its the beautiful geography and the wildlife and all of it. So with that, I want to share this with you. Let me turn this way. I I'm going to put this in a couple times because I just want to see. And I'm saying on the plant, I'm not saying a tree, because many times bonsai is application is to a tree. So this was the first AI I got, or not, I'm sorry, this is like one of the first. To create bonsai, it says cut the stems just above a leaf node. And then I had put it in again, and it was saying cut it just below the leaf node. So this is above the leaf node where leaves meet the stem at a slight angle. And then I had put it in again, and it was telling me, where is it here? Yeah, it was telling me to cut it at an angle, which is correct. And then another one. Hi there. How are you, bro? What is that? ID? I don't know, bro. Hi. Welcome. Thanks for being here. So, Ed, we're talking about, we're going to make this beautiful plant. This is called the Purple Prince. Typically, this is very, very purple in like the summertime when it's getting a lot of sun. The second it's not getting sun, guess what? It's green. It turns green. So we're going to be cutting this back, and I had started the process earlier a couple of months ago, and you can see the teeny tiny little shoots down here. So for those of you not familiar with bonsai, so first of all, if you're looking for a hobby, because this is one I really want to do, but I want to make sure I'm in a place where I have consistent temperature inside, And so far, these past number of years, I really haven't had that. We've had some very harsh winters, so I really want to be ready to be able to provide for the plant constant warmth if I go into doing many bonsais. So, but I do want to do more. So, this says a bonsaiing the Purple Prince, which is a popular fast growing, and it is. I have never seen a plant grow as fast as this. Upright, red foliaged, and drought tolerant, tender, herbaceous plant with dark crimson purple leaves, known for its dense mounding habit. It involves training it to look like a miniature tree into a small bonsai. So I'm going to, let me see if I can get some images for you because this one's super tiny. It is amazing what these look like when they've been like bonsai for a little while. Hi Carter, how are you? So I'm going to see if I can get some images of a bonsai. I don't even know if that's a word. Bonsai. We'll just say bonsai Purple Prince plant. See if I can get you a picture, because the stem, the trunk of it, like the stem of it becomes very thick. I mean, it is amazing. So let's see if I can show you a picture. And you won't even recognize it. These are something that keeps coming up. Here it is. Here's the Purple Prince. Let me move this. Let's see. Check this out. This is the same. I believe it's the same. Only it's bonsai'd. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're ill. Get better fast. Take your liquids and rest. Look at that. Bonsai is an amazing, amazing way. And you know, to have a bonsai in your home, it adds to the air quality also. Let me see if I can find another one. That might be closer to this. Because there's different types. But I'll show you the picture here. You can see from the picture how thick the trunk of this gets. It's amazing. It's very small. Can you see that picture? Very thick. So, I mean, this is how it can go. This is, so we're just going to read some key components to bonsaiing this plant before we start cutting. And I have a little jar of water, because then what I do is take these and root them. And I have another bunch of stems that I had cut off of this when I was beginning the bonsai process with it. And they're all rooted. I need to plant them. So I can really feel like I could start, you know, selling these at an art and craft, but then I'd have to travel with them. So I'm not sure really what to do. Okay. Selections for bonsaiing the Purple Prince. Selection and propagation. Choose a healthy young plant. It can be easily propagated and from cuttings in the spring. This is totally that plant. Initial potting. Plant it in a pot with good drainage. This has really good drainage. This actually has drainage underneath. You can see, oh, it's got a piece of string there. You can see the hole right there, and it has a plate so the water can drain right out. It loves that because the plant is a living entity. It can bring that water back up if it's trying to get water to the roots. But it says planted in a pot with good drainage, use a well-draining, nutrient-rich soil, or for better control, and encourage rapid growth with your slightly larger pot for the first year. That's exactly what happened. I put it in a slightly larger pot, and guess what? It just grew faster. So pruning and shaping. Regularly prune the plant to keep it compact and encourage a bushier growth. That is what's happening down here. You can't really see it, but that is what's occurring. So cut back stems to a pair of leaves and or a bud node. So this is saying the same thing. That would mean cut above the node. If you're cutting it back to the node, you're cutting above the node. Okay, the node is a little part of it that's kind of sprouted, kind of like a little bud bump in the stem. So the goal is to develop a single main trunk or low dense shrubby structure. So watering and light. Keep the soil slightly moist, but not soggy, and avoid letting it dry out completely. It thrives in the full sun and 2-part shade. And now, sometimes in the winter, the heat's on, and the heat can make your plants kind of get dry quicker. So double check them and see if they're getting really dry and they need water sooner than the average time that you typically give them water. Fertilizing, feed them regularly, balance liquid fertilizer during the growing season. I have put some banana peels and some egg shells mixed in with the soil, and that they really like that too. Repot, it sounds like they're eating it. It's just the nutrients go into the soil. So repot every 1 to 2 years is needed. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of that for a moment. And yeah, and this is saying cut it just above the node. So let's go to an expert bonsai empire, and maybe we can get some better pictures here. I'm going to move this for just a minute. Okay, so let's just read what now they're talking about a tree here. Tree species. They're talking about all trees, but it doesn't mean you can't cut the plants, because you can. Let me see here if one talks specifically about plants. Purple Prince plant, because they also have something called Purple Prince tree. So I always put in the plant. Let's see if we get a blog. How to prune a common zinnia purple prince. This is by Picture This. So let's go into that site. Okay, so the first thing they say is to remove withered leaves. So using the pruning shears, cut off the withered leaves at the base. Oh, okay, I didn't even think of that. I don't see any really withered, they're just really tiny. So you can see here how small they are. You see at the bottom here? Super tiny. I'm trying to see too because the text is there. Okay. So, and then it says look at it again. It tells you to inspect it. Oh, and it says be careful with excessive pruning, because over pruning can stress the purple prince and lead to reduced flowering. Now, I don't see any flowers on this. I haven't seen any flowers on this. So, an improper technique is using dull or unclean shears, and that can cause ragged cuts, making the common purple prince plant susceptible to disease and pest infestations. Would you have thought it? That if your scissors are not clean, that you can infect this plant. So also cutting too close to the main stem can cause damage, can damage the healthy tissue. So in other words, we don't want to cut way down here. We don't want to go way down there. We want to, like I'm looking at this area like that, like really just almost topping it off. So pruning at the wrong node. Now this is the information I was looking for. And let me just tell you, I got 3 different information from AI. I would say go to a blogger. Like this one is called Picture This. What else do they have there? AI. Oh, picturethisai.com. It's called Picture This. But I don't see, I guess this is, if this is AI, I think I'm going to continue to look. That's what they're saying this is. So I'm going to continue to look. Artist tree, purple prince plant. Let's put it in this way. I'm going to try, you got to do, this is important nowadays because there's so many things popping up on the internet. We want to make sure we're getting the correct information. So I'm putting in here how to bonsai a purple prince plant, even though I'm pretty sure, you know, I have it down, but I want to get it from a blogger. Okay, this site is called greg.app. Purple Prince alternanthera. It's not. They're not really giving a cohesive way to do this. So I'm going to stay at the Bonsai Empire, okay? Because this is not AI. This is bonsaiempire.com. And we're just going to take some information from here. So they kind of give us an idea how do trees grow. They're talking about trees. That's fine. We can, you know, apply that principle, I'm sure, to plants. But before discussing the techniques in detail, let's get a bit more fundamental with how trees grow. And so they kind of cover that. And the trees have a natural tendency to grow with an apical dominance. In other words, this means that the main central stem of the tree grows more dominantly than the side stems. So we, you know, with our plants, if we're going to be doing bonsai, we're going to be focusing on that stem to be getting thicker. But this is not a tree, it's a plant. So let's see. So we're just going to say how to bonsai a plant. And Bonsai Empire comes up again. Shaping and styling the trees. Miniature trees. So, okay, they're not giving us anything on a plant. I guess they're referencing this. They're going to reference it as a tree. So we're just going to see what information we can get from them. And look at this. This is gorgeous. This is the the goal, is that we're going to have, no matter what you bonsai, the stem, hi Inspired, the stem is going to become thicker. So maybe it won't be as thick as a tree, but we know that that same principle is going to be applied, since I can't find anything specifically talking to us about the Purple Prince except AI. And AI gave me 3 different instructions on how to cut it back, how to prune it. But I do know you cut above the node. So we're going to start that in about 2 seconds. So this is, how should I prune? Maintenance pruning is required to maintain the shape. In doing so, prune the branches and the shoots. Simply prune branches and shoots that have outgrown, that are intended canopy shape, using twig, shears, or normal cutters. So in this case, we're using normal cutters because it's a small plant. So, this says, when should I prune? Generally speaking, the best time to prune a tree is early spring, which is now. Well, it's not spring yet, but it's early enough. This keeps going, it's going to get unhealthy because it's going to be another foot. Okay, this is just a little over a foot right now. That's why I'm pruning it. Okay. So it's basically all they give there. And they do show a couple of pictures on pruning. Prune long shoots using so the ones like hanging over whatnot. So I'm going to go for the top ones. So we're going to get started here on our beautiful little plant. And I am just going to do what I did earlier this year, because it seems to have withstood the pruning really well at that point. And so that's what we're going to do it again. So I'm kind of looking at the side that I'm at here. I'm going to not try to cut it over on this side where I can't see. I'm going to turn it as I go around. And I'm going to try to do a nice clean cut. And I'm putting this right in the water as I do so. So it has a water. And I'm going to turn it this way towards me, looking for a node. And I'm going to go with this one right here. And I'm probably going to go around 2 times. Look how beautiful these are. Now, it says don't go too close to the base stem. You see how this is a stick. Let me get that out of there. You see how this is getting thicker? That is the part that we're focusing on. That is going to get thicker and thicker every time we prune. I put them right in the water. I notice some people, they'll cut them and just kind of throw them around, and then later put them in the water. They're just kind of a little shocky. So I kind of put them right in. That's the one I wanted really to get, because the height of it. Okay, I'll put this over here, I guess. So I'm going to continue to turn. And focusing on my base, it says don't cut too close to the base. So I just want to take a look at that. So I have a shoot. I don't know if you can see it. I have a shoot here. It's coming off of this one right here. So I think what I'm going to do is give this a chance to get some height. But I'm going to cut these down just a tad more. You have to remember something. With the purple prince, this grows super fast. And I am not an expert on bonsai, but I do know this, that I have a feeling I will be pruning this back soon again. So I'm going to cut this down. I'm going around again. I'm going to cut this down. You know, it's 28 degrees today in Vermont, guys, so it's considered pretty warm. It's like the type of weather you wear a sweater here. A lot of people, you'll see them in a light coat in this kind of weather. And the poor dogs, I say cats are mostly inside animals around here just for safety. But the dogs, these poor dogs, they get the zoomies, you know, because they haven't been out. They can't go out when it's in the digital, you know, like 5 degrees. They can't. It's too dangerous for them. So this one, he's got a whole bunch of plants going on there. I think I'm just going to cut this one back like that and call it good there. And when you're doing this, you know, you can also shape them. You can start shaping your plants, and there's very gentle ways to do that. Like, you know, they'll start maybe bending that a tiny bit. I'm not going to do that with this plant. I want to get a tree and do that with a tree, because like they say, the trunk is the dominant part of that tree. So this one has to still develop its base to get really thick, and it will. But I'm going to take these right off. And look at all of these I have to look at all of those. You know how fast those are going to root? So I think I'm going to just take a little more height off of it and call it good. I'm going to go down this far. I have to make it a clean cut. And this has a lot of thickness coming to it already. So that's going to be really beautiful too. Okay, so we're just about where I want this to be. I want the height off of it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And I'm just about done. I want to get it to this height. So this one right above it, I'm going to cut down here. And we're done. Okay. So anyway, with that, I hope that that gives you an idea, and you're gonna see how fast this starts to grow again. We'll keep an eye on it. This is early February that we cut this back a little, and we'll check it out even at the end of the week. So with that, thank you so much for being with me. If you have a plant you're trying to bonsai, just get the height down to where you want it. And most of this fullness in this particular plant was up here. So that's what I have clipped back, and I've put them in water, and I will be rooting these. We'll keep an eye on these too. And with that, I hope you have a beautiful day. Love and light.